Ladies and gentlemen, there's a profound beauty in human interaction, a dance of subtle cues and gestures that often go unnoticed. When someone is truly captivated by you, they reveal more than they intend through their words, actions, and even their silences. These are not calculated moves but instinctual responses that come from the depths of human nature. To understand them is to glimpse the raw and unfiltered truth of what someone feels. Imagine the confidence that comes with recognizing these signs, the knowledge that someone's interest is genuine, unforced, and rooted in something real. It's not just about flirtation, it's about understanding the essence of human connection. Why should you care? Because in a world of fleeting encounters and half-hearted intentions, recognizing sincerity is the first step toward fostering something meaningful. This is not about manipulation or tricks, it's about uncovering the truth of what's already there. It's about knowing when someone's heart and mind are aligned with their actions. This understanding has the potential to empower you, to help you navigate relationships with clarity and purpose. Human connection is one of the most intricate and profound aspects of our existence. When a man is genuinely drawn to someone, he communicates in ways that extend far beyond the spoken word. These subtle signs, these instinctive behaviors, arise from something deeper, something embedded in our biology and psychology. They are not calculated strategies but natural expressions of interest and vulnerability. To see these signs is to witness an unspoken language that reveals more about someone's intentions than their words ever could. It is this language of connection that demands our attention because it teaches us about ourselves and others in ways that words cannot. When a man is truly captivated by someone, his behavior changes in ways that are often unconscious but incredibly telling. These shifts are not merely habits, they are responses to emotions that are difficult to suppress. He might stand a little straighter, as if his very posture is trying to make a statement about his presence. There is a biological explanation for this. When someone is attracted, they instinctively seek to present themselves as strong, capable, and attentive. These behaviors may seem trivial, but they are rooted in the fundamental human drive to be noticed and valued. Eye contact, for instance, is one of the most profound indicators of interest. It's not just a matter of looking, it's about how someone looks at you. When a man is truly drawn to you, his gaze lingers just a fraction longer than necessary. It's not the casual glance of indifference, it's a deeper, more engaged connection. That kind of gaze is searching for something, it's seeking understanding, recognition, and perhaps a reflection of its own feelings. The eyes are windows not only to the soul but to the truth of our emotions. And in those moments of genuine eye contact, there is an honesty that cannot be fabricated. What's fascinating is how these behaviors are often involuntary. A man who is genuinely interested might lean in slightly when you speak, as if drawn toward your words, your presence. It's a subtle gesture, almost imperceptible, but it speaks volumes. This is not the behavior of someone who is merely passing time, it's the action of someone who is genuinely invested in the moment. These small, unconscious movements reveal the inner workings of his mind and heart, and they are impossible to hide when his feelings are authentic. Then there is the tone of his voice, the way it softens or deepens when he speaks to you. This isn't about manipulation, it's about a natural shift in how we communicate when we care about being understood. His words might carry a weight, a sincerity that is absent in casual conversations. There's a deliberateness, a focus, as if he's choosing each word carefully because he understands that what he says matters. This kind of attention is rare, and when it happens, it's a powerful sign of genuine interest. One of the most telling signs is the way he listens. Truly listening is an act of vulnerability because it requires setting aside one's ego and focusing entirely on another person. When a man is captivated by someone, he listens not just with his ears but with his whole being. He pays attention to the details, the nuances of what you say. He remembers things that others might overlook, and he brings them up later, demonstrating that he values what you share. This kind of attentiveness is not common, and when you encounter it, you should take note because it is a sign of someone who genuinely cares. These behaviors are not about playing games or following a script. They are about authenticity, about the undeniable truth of human connection. When a man is truly interested, he cannot help but reveal himself in these ways. He might fidget slightly, as if his energy has no outlet, or he might laugh a little more easily, finding joy in the smallest moments. These are the signs of someone who is present, someone who is engaged not just in the conversation, but in the possibility of something deeper. It's crucial to understand that these signs are not about control or strategy, they are about revealing what is already there. Genuine interest cannot be faked, and these behaviors arise naturally when someone's emotions align with their actions. This alignment is rare and precious because it speaks to the integrity of the individual. To see these signs is to witness a kind of honesty that is both vulnerable and courageous. But there is another layer to this, a deeper truth that is often overlooked. These behaviors are not just about the person who is showing them, they are also about the person who inspires them. When someone exhibits these signs, it is because they see something in you that they value, something that resonates with them on a fundamental level. This realization is profound because it reminds us that connection is a two-way street. It is not just about being desired, it is about being deserving of that desire. This understanding should not be taken lightly. Recognizing these signs is not about seeking validation or feeding one's ego. It is about acknowledging the beauty of human connection and the responsibility that comes with it. When someone reveals these behaviors, they are showing a side of themselves that is vulnerable and real. To dismiss or exploit that would be to disregard the very essence of what makes us human. So what does this mean for you? It means paying attention not just to the actions of others, but to your own responses. It means being open to the possibility of genuine connection and understanding the courage it takes for someone to reveal these parts of themselves. It means valuing authenticity over superficiality, sincerity over pretense. In recognizing these signs, you are not just learning about others, you are learning about yourself and the kind of connections you want to foster in your life. These subtle behaviors are not just indicators of interest, they are reflections of the human need for connection, for understanding, for love. They remind us that beneath all the complexities of life, there is a simple truth. We all want to be seen, to be valued, to matter. And when someone shows you these signs, they are offering you a glimpse of that truth. It is a gift, and it is up to you to decide how to respond. When we consider the nature of communication and connection, especially in matters of intimacy, we must recognize that what we say and how we say it holds tremendous power. Words are not mere sounds, they are carriers of meaning, intent, and emotion. They have the potential to build bridges between individuals or erect walls that isolate them. When we talk about attraction and the subtle dynamics of relationships, it becomes clear that the way one speaks to another, particularly in moments of vulnerability or emotional significance, is a reflection of their character and intentions. Communication is not simply about the transfer of information, it is an act of creation. Through it, we shape the tone, direction, and depth of a relationship. One of the most profound things you can do when speaking to someone you care about is to engage in a manner that conveys genuine respect and interest. There is a tendency in modern discourse to treat conversations as transactional, where the primary objective is to extract value or assert dominance. But this approach fails to recognize the fundamental truth that human connection is not about utility, it is about mutual recognition and understanding. When you speak to someone, particularly someone you care for, your words should reflect an acknowledgement of their humanity, their individuality, and their worth. This is not merely about being polite or charming, it is about creating a space where the other person feels seen and valued. Attraction, in its most authentic form, is rooted in this sense of mutual recognition. When you talk to someone with genuine interest, your words resonate on a deeper level because they are not just expressions of your own desires, but invitations to share in a moment of connection. This requires a level of attentiveness that is often lacking in superficial interactions. To truly engage with someone, you must listen not just to their words, but to the underlying emotions and meanings that give those words weight. Listening is an active process, one that demands presence and focus. It is in listening that you demonstrate care and create the foundation for meaningful communication. Equally important is the tone with which you speak. Tone is not just about the sound of your voice, it is about the emotional energy you bring to the interaction. A tone that conveys warmth, sincerity, and respect has the power to disarm defenses and foster trust. On the other hand, a tone that is dismissive, condescending, or insincere can create distance and erode connection. The way you speak reflects your internal state, your intentions, and your regard for the other person. It is a mirror of your character and your capacity for empathy. Empathy, in this context, is not simply about understanding another person's feelings, it is about validating them. It is about acknowledging their experiences as real and significant even if they differ from your own. This kind of validation is particularly important in the context of romantic attraction because it creates a sense of safety and acceptance. When someone feels safe in your presence, they are more likely to open up, to be vulnerable, and to engage with you on a deeper level. This kind of vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a gift. It is a sign of trust and a willingness to invest in the relationship. Another crucial aspect of communication is the ability to express yourself authentically. Authenticity is not about saying whatever comes to mind without filter or consideration. It is about aligning your words with your true thoughts and feelings. It is about being honest, not just with the other person, but with yourself. Authenticity fosters connection because it allows the other person to see you as you are without pretense or manipulation. It creates a dynamic of reciprocity where both parties feel free to be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. At the same time, authenticity must be tempered with tact and consideration. Being truthful does not mean being harsh or insensitive. It means finding a way to communicate your thoughts and feelings in a manner that is constructive rather than destructive. This requires emotional intelligence, the ability to navigate the complexities of human interaction with grace and care. Emotional intelligence is not an innate trait, it is a skill that can be developed through self-awareness, reflection, and practice. It is a skill that allows you to balance honesty with kindness, vulnerability with strength, and passion with patience. The most impactful conversations are those that strike this balance. They are conversations that leave both parties feeling enriched, understood, and inspired. They are conversations that deepen the connection and create a sense of shared purpose and possibility. To engage in such conversations, you must be willing to invest time and effort to approach the interaction with intention and humility. You must be willing to let go of the need to control the outcome and instead focus on being present in the moment. In the context of attraction, this kind of communication is transformative. It shifts the focus from superficial traits and fleeting emotions to the deeper qualities that create lasting bonds. It moves beyond the realm of manipulation and performance to a place of genuine connection and mutual growth. When you talk to someone in this way, you are not just seeking their approval or attention, you are inviting them to join you on a journey of discovery and understanding. You are building a foundation for a relationship that is not only meaningful but enduring. The way you speak to someone is a reflection of the way you see them and the way you see yourself. It is an expression of your values, your intentions, and your capacity for connection. It is an opportunity to create something beautiful and meaningful, something that transcends the ordinary and touches the essence of what it means to be human. In this sense, communication is not just a skill or a tool, it is an art. And like all art, it requires creativity, dedication, and a deep understanding of its purpose and potential. When it comes to understanding human behavior, particularly in the realm of relationships, we must delve deeper into the subtle interplay of emotions, actions, and intentions. Attraction is not merely a chemical response or a fleeting feeling. It is a profound dance between vulnerability and desire, between the conscious and unconscious. One of the most telling aspects of this dance is the way a man acts when he is truly captivated by someone. It is not in grand gestures or extravagant declarations, but in the quiet, consistent ways his attention and energy are directed toward you. These behaviors reveal more than words ever could, and it is in recognizing these actions that we come to understand the essence of human connection. A man's ability to communicate his interest through his behavior is a testament to the depth of his feelings. You see, actions are far harder to fabricate than words. They emerge naturally, often without conscious thought, because they are rooted in something primal, something genuine. When a man truly cares, his attention becomes focused in a way that is impossible to fake. He notices details, things that others overlook, and he responds to them in ways that show his attentiveness. This kind of focus is rare in a world where distractions are abundant. To be the object of someone's undivided attention is to be valued in a way that transcends superficial attraction. Consider the way a man's priorities shift when he is genuinely drawn to someone. He makes time even when it is inconvenient. This is not a matter of obligation but of genuine desire. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and how we choose to spend it reveals much about what we value. A man who prioritizes you, who rearranges his schedule or goes out of his way to ensure he can be present with you, is demonstrating a level of commitment that is significant. This is not a behavior born of casual interest, but of a deeper emotional connection. There is also an unmistakable energy that a man brings into his interactions when he is captivated by someone. It is not merely physical energy, though that may be part of it. It is emotional energy, intellectual energy, a kind of enthusiasm that permeates his words and actions. He becomes animated, engaged, invested in the conversation and the connection. This energy is contagious, and it creates a dynamic that feels alive, vibrant, and meaningful. It is a reflection of his inner state, a signal that his emotions are aligned with his actions. But perhaps the most compelling sign of genuine interest is the way a man handles vulnerability. To care for someone deeply is to open oneself up to the possibility of rejection, to the risk of being hurt. This is not an easy thing to do, especially in a world that often encourages emotional detachment as a form of self-protection. Yet, when a man is truly interested, he allows himself to be vulnerable. He shares parts of himself that he does not readily share with others: his fears, his dreams, his uncertainties. This willingness to be open is a powerful indicator of trust and sincerity. What is equally important is how he responds to your vulnerability. A man who is genuinely invested will not dismiss or diminish your feelings. Instead, he will create a space where you feel safe to share your own thoughts and emotions. He listens not just to respond, but to understand. This kind of listening is active, intentional, and rare. It is a sign of respect and care, a recognition of your worth. When someone listens in this way, it is not just an act of courtesy, it is an act of love. Another subtle but telling behavior is the way a man supports your growth. When someone truly cares, they want to see you thrive. They encourage you to pursue your goals, to embrace your potential, to become the best version of yourself. This is not about control or dominance, but about mutual respect and admiration. A man who genuinely values you will not feel threatened by your success or independence. Instead, he will celebrate it because your happiness and fulfillment are integral to his own. In recognizing these behaviors, it is crucial to approach them with a sense of balance and discernment. Genuine interest is not about perfection, it is about consistency and sincerity. No one is flawless, and there will be moments when even the most attentive partner falls short. What matters is the overall pattern of behavior, the underlying intent. Is he striving to be present, to be supportive, to build a connection that is based on mutual respect and care? If the answer is yes, then these behaviors are worth paying attention to. At the core of all these actions is a fundamental truth about human relationships: they are built on reciprocity. Genuine connection is not a one-sided endeavor. It requires effort, understanding, and vulnerability from both parties. When someone shows you these signs, it is an invitation to meet them halfway, to engage with them in a way that is equally authentic and intentional. This kind of mutual investment creates a foundation for a relationship that is not only meaningful but enduring. Ultimately, these behaviors are not just about attraction, they are about value. They reveal what someone values in you and, in turn, what you value in yourself. To recognize these signs is to acknowledge your own worth, to understand that you are deserving of genuine care and connection. It is a reminder that the most meaningful relationships are not built on fleeting emotions or superficial charm, but on actions that speak to the truth of who we are. This understanding is both empowering and humbling. It challenges us to be more attentive, more intentional, more open to the possibilities of connection. It asks us to look beyond the surface, to see the depth of human behavior and emotion. And in doing so, it teaches us not only about others, but about ourselves, the kind of connections we seek, the kind of people we aspire to be, and the kind of love we are capable of giving and receiving. These truths are universal, and they are what make the journey of human connection so profoundly meaningful. When we think about the dynamics of human behavior and attraction, we must delve deeply into the nuances that define how individuals interact, particularly when emotions are involved. People often believe that attraction is something superficial, a spark ignited by physical appearances or fleeting gestures. But the truth is far more profound. Attraction, especially in its truest and most enduring form, arises from a deeper resonance, a meeting of minds and values that transcends the surface. And when we talk about those subtle behaviors, those actions and reactions that people cannot hide when they are drawn to someone, we are exploring a territory that reveals as much about their inner world as it does about the connection they are trying to forge. What we must first understand is that humans are inherently expressive creatures. Even when we try to mask our feelings, our bodies and our words betray us. Our posture, our gaze, the tone of our voice, all of these communicate messages that are often more honest than the words we choose. This is not a flaw, it is a feature of our design. We are social beings, after all, evolved to connect, to empathize, to cooperate. This expressiveness is not only a means of communication, but also a window into our most vulnerable selves. And in moments of attraction, when we are drawn to another person, it becomes nearly impossible to hide what we feel. One of the most telling signs that someone is drawn to another is the way they listen. True listening is rare, and it is a powerful act. When a person listens intently, their entire being is focused on the other. They are not merely waiting for their turn to speak, they are absorbing every word, every nuance, every expression. This kind of attentiveness is a form of respect, an acknowledgement of the other's significance. It is an indication that the listener values the speaker not just for what they are saying, but for who they are. And in the context of attraction, this intense focus is often accompanied by subtle physical cues, leaning in slightly, maintaining steady eye contact, nodding in affirmation. These behaviors may seem small, but they are profoundly meaningful. Another sign is the way a person seeks to share their world with the one they are drawn to. Humans are storytellers by nature, and we feel a deep need to be understood. When someone is attracted to another, they often go out of their way to share pieces of their life, their thoughts, their dreams. This sharing is not random, it is deliberate. It is an attempt to build a bridge, to create a shared narrative. The stories they tell, the details they choose to reveal, all of these are ways of saying, I want you to see me, to know me, to understand me. And when this sharing is met with genuine interest and reciprocity, it creates a bond that is both deep and lasting. Equally revealing is the way a person adjusts their behavior in the presence of someone they admire. This is not about pretending to be someone they are not, rather it is about putting their best foot forward. They may become more attentive, more thoughtful, more considerate. They may take extra care with their appearance or their manners. These efforts are not about deception, they are about respect. They are a way of saying, I value you and I want to be worthy of your time and attention. And while these adjustments may seem obvious, they are often accompanied by more subtle changes, shifts in tone, in energy, in focus that speak volumes about their feelings. Then there is the matter of vulnerability. Attraction often brings with it a willingness to be open, to take risks, to let down one's guard. This is one of the most courageous acts a person can perform, for vulnerability requires trust. It requires a belief that the other person will not use their openness against them, that they will not judge or ridicule. When someone is willing to be vulnerable, it is a sign that they see the other as safe, as trustworthy, as worthy of their truth. This kind of vulnerability can manifest in many ways through a confession of feelings, a sharing of fears, or simply a moment of unguarded laughter. Whatever form it takes, it is a testament to the depth of their attraction. And finally, we must consider the way a person invests their time and energy. Time is our most precious resource, and where we choose to spend it reveals our priorities. When someone is drawn to another, they make time for them. They prioritize their presence, their needs, their happiness. This investment is not about obligation, it is about desire. It is about wanting to be near the other, to share in their experiences, to contribute to their joy. And this kind of investment is one of the clearest signs of genuine attraction, for it goes beyond words and gestures to the very heart of what it means to care for another. All of these behaviors, listening, sharing, adjusting, being vulnerable, and investing time, are not just signs of attraction, they are reflections of a deeper truth. They reveal a person's values, their capacity for connection, their willingness to engage with another on a meaningful level. And while these behaviors may be difficult to hide, they are also difficult to fake. They are authentic, spontaneous, and deeply human. They remind us that attraction is not a game to be played or a strategy to be employed. It is a natural, honest, and beautiful part of what it means to be human. When we recognize these behaviors in others, it is not just an opportunity to understand their feelings, it is an opportunity to reflect on our own. How do we respond to their openness, their attentiveness, their efforts? Do we meet them with the same honesty and respect? Or do we shy away from the connection they are offering? These are important questions, for the way we engage with others shapes not only our relationships but also our character. To truly connect with another is to embrace vulnerability, to honor their humanity, to create a space where both can grow. And in doing so, we not only enrich their lives but also our own. When we consider the idea of human attraction, we must understand it as a deeply rooted phenomenon, one that transcends superficial exchanges and delves into the very fabric of our shared existence. People often underestimate the power of subtle behaviors, the small actions that reveal far more than words ever could. But these nuances, these often unconscious displays of interest, are windows into a person's deeper intentions and emotions. They are reflections of vulnerability, hope, and the intricate dance of connection that underpins the relationships we value most. And yet we rarely stop to examine these signs to truly understand what they reveal about the dynamic interplay between two individuals. There is something profoundly human about the inability to hide genuine emotions. When someone is drawn to another, their behavior shifts, sometimes in ways they don't even recognize. These shifts are not calculated or deliberate, they are instinctual. They emerge from a place of raw emotion, from an innate desire to connect, to be seen, to be understood. This is a universal truth, one that crosses cultures, generations, and circumstances. And it's this universality that makes the study of these behaviors so compelling. They remind us of our shared humanity, of the ways in which we are all striving, in our own ways, to bridge the gap between ourselves and others. One of the most telling signs of attraction is attention. Attention is not a passive act, it is deliberate and focused. When someone is interested in another, they pay attention in a way that is almost palpable. Their eyes follow the person they're drawn to, their body orients itself toward them, and their responses are thoughtful and engaged. This level of attention is rare in a world filled with distractions, and it speaks volumes about the value that person places on the other. They are saying, in effect, you matter, what you think and feel matters, I'm here and I am present. And this kind of attention, when reciprocated, forms the foundation of meaningful connection. Another powerful indicator is the way people mirror each other. Mirroring is a subconscious behavior that reflects a desire for alignment, for harmony. When someone mirrors another's posture, gestures, or tone of voice, it is a sign that they are attuned to that person, that they are seeking to create a sense of unity. This behavior is not just about attraction, it is about empathy. It is about stepping into the other's world, seeing things from their perspective, and finding common ground. And when we recognize this mirroring in our interactions, it can be a profound moment of realization, a reminder of the ways in which we are connected. There's also the matter of effort. Attraction often people put an extra effort to go out of their way to make an impression or to bring joy to the other. This effort might manifest in small, thoughtful gestures, a kind word, a meaningful compliment, or an offer of help. It might also be seen in grander acts, like planning a special outing or giving a carefully chosen gift. Whatever form it takes, this effort is a sign of care and investment. It reveals a desire to contribute to the other's happiness, to be a source of positivity in their life. And this willingness to invest time and energy is one of the most meaningful indicators of genuine attraction. Perhaps one of the most profound signs of interest is vulnerability. In a world that often encourages us to guard our emotions, to present a polished facade, vulnerability is an act of courage. It is a willingness to show the parts of ourselves that we usually keep hidden, the fears, the insecurities, the dreams that we hold closest to our hearts. When someone is willing to be vulnerable, it is a sign that they trust the other person, that they see them as safe, as worthy of their truth. This kind of openness is not easy, but it is essential for building deep and lasting connections. Physical proximity is another revealing factor. When someone is drawn to another, they often seek opportunities to be near them. This is not always about physical contact. Sometimes it is simply about being in the same space, sharing the same experiences. Proximity creates a sense of familiarity, of shared reality. It allows people to observe each other, to learn from each other, and to deepen their understanding of one another. And this closeness, this shared presence, can be incredibly powerful. It is a reminder that connection is not just about words or actions. It is also about being, about existing together in a way that feels meaningful and significant. There is the element of joy. When someone is attracted to another, they often experience a sense of joy in their presence. This joy might be expressed through laughter, through a sense of lightness, through the simple pleasure of being together. It is a reminder that attraction is not just about admiration or desire. It is about happiness, about the way another person can brighten our world. And when we recognize this joy, it is a gift. It is an acknowledgement of the beauty of connection, of the ways in which others enrich our lives. These behaviors, attention, mirroring effort, vulnerability, proximity, and joy, are not just signs of attraction, they are expressions of humanity. They remind us of our capacity for connection, for empathy, for love, and they challenge us to reflect on our own behaviors, to consider the ways in which we engage with others. Are we present? Are we willing to invest effort? Are we open to vulnerability? These are not easy questions, but they are important ones. For the quality of our relationships is not determined by chance or circumstance. It is determined by the choices we make, the actions we take, and the care we give. Attraction is not a mystery to be solved or a game to be played. It is a reflection of who we are and what we value. It is an opportunity to connect, to grow, to create something meaningful with another person. And when we approach it with honesty, with openness, and with respect, it has the potential to enrich our lives in ways we cannot begin to imagine. So let us pay attention to these signs, not just in others, but in ourselves. Let us use them as a guide, a reminder of the beauty and complexity of human connection. And let us embrace them with the courage and gratitude they deserve. When we delve into the intricacies of human relationships, there is a certain weight that emerges, a complexity that cannot be ignored. To understand what it means to truly connect with another person is to explore the depth of our own vulnerabilities, our fears, our desires, and our capacity for courage. The reality is, there are behaviors and instincts that individuals cannot conceal when they feel a genuine connection or attraction. These behaviors are not mere accidents. They are deeply embedded in the psychology of human interaction, crafted through evolution, and honed by the necessity of survival in a social world. They are signals clear and unmistakable that reveal more than the words we speak or the masks we wear. When a person feels drawn to another, their attention becomes undeniable. Attention is one of the most significant and profound gifts one can offer in a world inundated with distractions. To give someone your full presence, to truly see them, is an act of care and a demonstration of value. It's not just about noticing their words, it's about perceiving the nuances of their expression, the rhythm of their voice, and the subtleties of their body language. These details matter because they carry the weight of what is unsaid, what lies beneath the surface. And when someone offers this kind of attention, it is an acknowledgement that the other person matters, that they occupy a space of importance in their inner world. Yet, attention alone is not enough. It is accompanied by a subtle synchronization of movement and tone, a phenomenon we call mirroring. This mirroring is not a conscious decision, it is an instinctual response. When someone leans forward slightly as you speak, mirrors your gestures, or matches your emotional cadence, they are signaling a profound alignment. This alignment is not just about physical mimicry, it's about a psychological and emotional resonance. It's about saying, "I see you and I am with you." It's a subtle yet powerful testament to the human yearning for connection, a manifestation of our innate desire to be understood. Consider the effort someone expends when they are drawn to another. Effort is a demonstration of priority. It's not just about grand gestures or elaborate plans, it's about the small, thoughtful actions that reveal a deeper intent. A kind word, a moment of consideration, a willingness to go out of one's way, all of these reflect a level of care and investment. They reveal an individual's capacity to act beyond their immediate comfort for the sake of another. This effort is significant because it illustrates a fundamental truth about human relationships. They require work, deliberate and intentional. When someone is willing to put in that work, it shows a commitment that speaks volumes about their feelings and intentions. But let us not overlook vulnerability, which stands as one of the most courageous and authentic indicators of genuine connection. In a world that often champions stoicism and self-sufficiency, vulnerability is a radical act. It is the willingness to open oneself to another, to expose the tender and imperfect aspects of one's identity. This is no small feat, for to be vulnerable is to risk rejection, to face the possibility of pain. Yet it is precisely this openness that fosters intimacy and trust. When someone allows themselves to be seen in their entirety, their fears, their hopes, their uncertainties, they are not just expressing their own humanity, they are extending an invitation to the other person to do the same. Vulnerability is a bridge, one that connects us in ways that transcend superficiality. Physical proximity, too, carries immense significance in the realm of human connection. When someone is drawn to another, they often seek to reduce the space between them. This is not always an overt action. Sometimes it is as simple as standing a little closer during a conversation, finding reasons to be in the same room, or lingering in shared moments. Proximity is about creating opportunities for interaction, for shared experience. It is about saying, "I want to be near you because your presence enriches my world." And while this closeness may seem small or inconsequential, it is anything but. It is a quiet, yet powerful declaration of interest and intent. Finally, there is the element of joy. When someone feels a genuine connection, their joy becomes evident. This joy is not merely about laughter or visible happiness. It is about the lightness that comes from being in the presence of someone who resonates with your soul. It's the way a person's eyes brighten, the way their energy shifts, the way they seem to come alive. Joy is a marker of something deeper, a recognition of the beauty and connection. A celebration of the shared humanity that binds us. And this joy, when mutual, forms the foundation of relationships that are not only meaningful but transformative. These behaviors, attention, mirroring, effort, vulnerability, proximity, and joy, are not random. They are deeply rooted in who we are as social beings. They are expressions of our desire to connect, to build, to grow alongside another. They remind us that relationships are not about possession or control, but about mutual recognition and support. They challenge us to be present, to act with intention, to open ourselves to the possibility of connection. And they invite us to reflect on our own interactions, to ask whether we are offering the same to those around us. To truly connect with someone is one of life's greatest achievements. It is not easy, nor is it guaranteed. It requires courage, patience, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. But when we recognize these signs both in ourselves and others, we gain a deeper understanding of what it means to be human. We are reminded of the beauty in connection, the strength in vulnerability, and the profound impact we can have on one another. Let us not take these signs for granted. Let us see them for what they are, opportunities to forge connections that enrich our lives and give them meaning.